Hello, out there listening world. Welcome to another episode of Core Scope Insights with me, your host, Wesley Bray tonight. Going to have a great show. Got a great friend of mine in the studio tonight. So I want to introduce Mr. Kyle Wyatt with Columbia Winair. So everyone say hello to Kyle. Welcome.
Hi, how's everybody doing? I hope well. Yep.
So Kyle, hey, it's so great to have you in the studio. First of all, I got to thank you for your service. For those that do not know, Kyle is a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Is that correct?
That is absolutely
So a
correct. Yeah.
big hoorah! Can we get a
That's
hoorah
a
from you? A
hoorah.
hoorah!
There you go.
I may not
Yes.
done it, I was Navy, but hey, that's all right. Hey, but we want to welcome Kyle. We're going to have a fun show for you tonight, and we're going to get started with a couple of questions, Kyle, if you don't mind. So for our listeners who may not know much about your company and Columbia Win Air, we're going to let you give us the quick backstory on that and how did the business start and where has it evolved to now?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I mean, I think it's best probably to start at the very beginning with
Sure.
the win wholesale, win supply story, without stretching it out. But we kind of got our start really as the organization is known today back in 1956. Um, and it has grown steadily through just natural growth and through acquisitions. What was once Win Wholesale became Win Supply in 2005, and that's back in 2005 is also when the Win Corporation purchased Nolan Company, which was a regional, a Mid Atlantic regional wholesaler, and that's really where I came from, up in Virginia. And my background, since the early '90s has been in wholesaling, and it was through the Nolan Company, and that's what actually brought me down to South Carolina in '03 was to run the Nolan here in Columbia. And so I was there through the Win purchase, and that was a pretty big deal back then. And it's been nothing but great ever since. Win Wholesale's a wonderful, wonderful company. It's a unique company, and it rewards entrepreneurship and self starters for sure. Now, Columbia Winair, the company that I own, got its start back in '03, I believe, is when that president opened the doors. And he ended up retiring in 2020, and he didn't have a successor that in mind that wanted to take over. And
Along comes Kyle.
yeah, I had kind of met him through through the Win Nolan acquisition kind of deal. I kind of
Sure.
got to know some of the local company presidents around, and he was one of them, and real good guy by the name of Jim. And anyway, I got a call from him one day and said, "Hey, and I was working for a wind company in Lexington that was primarily plumbing, still is.
Right.
They get into some industrial stuff now, but it was primarily plumbing back then." And he said, "Do you have any interest in becoming the minority owner of and president of Columbia Winair?" And, wholesaling I've done for a long, long time. HVAC wholesaling, I was not quite as well versed in, coming up on the plumbing side of
Sure.
things.
Sure.
So, I had experience with HVAC, taking over that Nolan company in Columbia when I first got down here, had an HVAC department. And I want to tell you, growing that HVAC department was one of the funnest things that I had done, because calling on plumbers and calling on HVAC guys, two
Two
different.
totally different
Yeah, you
worlds.
go about it two totally different ways, and so I was exposed and learned a lot, on calling on the HVAC guys through that experience, and that's really what was kind of the motivation for me. I was like, man, I had so much fun, doing that, and I said, man, if I could do that, full time, just concentrating on HVAC, how big a blast would that be?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's that kind of got the conversation started, and I ended up going over there in 2018, and worked with Jim for about a year and a half, and then he retired right before COVID, and away I went. So that's really the story of how I came to be the local company president of Columbia Winair.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Hey, great feedback. That's a great story.
yeah, yep.
That's a great story. Hey, let me ask you this: what's the biggest change you've seen in the HVAC distribution landscape, at least over the last decade? I know a lot's changed, but maybe you could just skim over what you've seen changes in the last decade,
I mean, it's got to be the new refrigerant. I mean, they.
which keeps evolving, just as like a
Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah, it's not. We're not done yet, folks. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, yeah, going through. I kind of went through when we changed over from the old R22 to the
right,
410A. And that was in hindsight, that was a pretty smooth transition.
right,
Not a lot of hassle. The industry was prepared for it.
right.
I mean, it just kind of happened, right? And
This one didn't sneak up on us at all. It kinda just reached out and grabbed us, you know?
yeah, and I mean that yeah. So going through that and then going through the turmoil that was COVID,
Right,
and that affected distribution in a myriad of ways, none of them positive.
right. None of them positive.
But we learned a lot of lessons through that, and
Yep,
that's kind of life, right? You take what you learn and you try to apply it later, right? That's how you grow. But um the next thing that happened was the energy efficiency transition. We went from a SEER rating to a SEER 2 rating,
right,
and that affected some things, but again, not a huge deal. And then all of a sudden, here comes the A2L deal, and I'm telling you, it's like the industry just wasn't
right,
prepared at all for. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Now, I know there were some issues with some faulty valves on some cylinders. They couldn't quite get the cylinders, and there were some issues with the refrigerant with 454
sure,
specifically,
sure,
which is what we deal with. And so we had a lot of challenges. But going back and leaning on what we learned from COVID and to a lesser extent through the SEER and SEER 2 transitions as far as wholesaling is concerned, as far as getting our inventory right and making sure that we had the training and all that stuff, we were able to apply a lot of those lessons and make the transition to the A2L refrigerants as painless as possible,
right.
even though it was still a deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's move right along. Just a couple of other questions that I wanna talk about while we're touching base. What new technologies or product categories are you seeing grow the fastest right now?
Wes, that's another great question. If I had to pinpoint something right now, I would say the mini split industry, especially here in South Carolina. Um, we've seen exponential growth with ductless systems.
Right.
Um, Almost like
Huge
we've never
growth.
seen yeah, almost like we've never seen before. I mean, and the technology's not new. I mean, it's been
Right,
there
it's been there
forever.
forever.
And
It's kinda like it evolved here in the States where,
yeah,
overseas, that's all they've done for years and years and
exactly.
years,
That's
in the
that's a great point.
UK and other countries. That great question, not to cut you off there, that's a great answer. Are there any misconceptions contractors have about, new HVAC products that you wanna kinda clear up a little bit or anything? Anything you wanna touch on that just a tad?
Um, yeah, I wouldn't call it a misconception, but I will say that contract. This is about contractors specifically and installers and business owners who run HVAC companies. I think that from what I'm seeing, and I think it's a great thing. I think they're more aware. Those guys are more aware today than ever how to run a business. And I think that they are doing things for these homeowners nowadays that are not only helping them grow their business, but they're also, as a byproduct and as a good byproduct, helping. homeowners along the way as well. And what I mean by that is they're uh, most of them are savvy enough to offer financing now, and that hasn't been a huge thing
Right.
in years. And it's a wonderful, wonderful tool in a tool bag that they have for us, especially for their business and for the homeowner themselves. And they're learning how to quote systems more effectively. They're
Sure.
putting packages together now that maybe they once just offered this system right here.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they're offering a good, better, best.
Right.
Huge, 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 huge thing
Huge.
that is a positive deal. And I would say that they're also pushing service contracts, and service contracts have gotten maybe a little bit of a bad rap here
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you, I mean, it's a smart move by the business owner, and it's a smarter move by the homeowner, because a service contract provides peace of mind. That's really what you're paying for. You're not paying for for somebody to come out. You're paying for, hey, there's an issue. I don't have to worry about it. I have this service contract. So,
Yeah, and you're paying for the relationship with the
yep,
customer because the contractor gets to know the customer. They know the equipment that's in the house. They know what
yeah.
they've had to respond to in the past.
Mhm.
So a service, great conversation there. That's a whole topic that I would like to cover. Maybe next segment or something. Time we have you on, we can discuss that in length because service contracts are very important.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's get on to some supply chain questions here. I got just a few of them. There's mainly three I want to ask. What supply chain challenges are distributors facing today, and how are you navigating through them as Columbia Winair?
We touched on it a little bit before with with the transition and the unit availability and the refrigerant availability, but we seem to be on the tail end of that. So
Awesome.
so that's kind of working itself out, much to my relief. there was a
Right.
there was a time there where we were making the transition from 410A equipment to R454B equipment, and we were starting to see the equipment trickle in.
Sure.
We didn't have the refrigerant for it,
Absolutely.
and that was a tough time. So, but like I said, that's kind of resolving itself now, and those pressures have eased a little bit. Tariffs have been another thing that's provided a great amount of uncertainty, not only with unitary products, but also all the ancillary stuff that goes along with it. Um, the, I believe the manufacturers are in a little bit of a state of discombobulation, if that's a word that I can use,
Sure.
on how to price their materials. They don't know when their stuff's gonna arrive,
Right.
and so that's been a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, and that actually kind of takes care of the next question I had, which was how are lead times and inventory levels trending compared to the last couple of years since COVID? But you kind of answered a little bit. But if you want to touch on that some more, feel free.
Yeah, and generally speaking, as a broad brush stroke, I think it's getting better.
Sure.
There's certainly there was a time when we were placing POs for things, and the manufacturers couldn't tell us when we were gonna get that stuff in, and
Right.
and that was unsettling.
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
to say the least, especially as a business owner whose livelihood depends upon having that stuff available to sell. So,
Absolutely.
but I would have to say that that's kind of resolving itself a little bit, and it's becoming easier for us to. The lead times are coming back down. The uncertainty about product is I would say being removed, which is a great thing.
Good.
There's still some challenges. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
You still have to, as a wholesaler, we still have to be very cognizant of applying the rules that we all learned, on how to wholesale, how to order, how to inventory control is a huge thing, always has been, but especially now.
Sure.
You gotta make the most with every dollar, and
Absolutely.
that can be a tough thing, but
Good answers.
it,
Good answers. All of those above. And then last in that category, I just want to ask, what's the best advice you can give to a contractor that's dealing with unpredictable product availability?
Lean on your wholesalers.
That was the answer I was looking for. That is exactly the answer I was
Yeah,
looking for.
yeah,
And in today's times, I think one thing everybody learned from COVID was, hey, you try to put all your eggs in one basket. Those relationships with distributors are highly important,
yeah,
but you've got to have somebody outside the box that can take care of your demand. It's just like if a customer's not there today, they could be there today and gone tomorrow. Same thing with distribution channel. You've got to have relationships, and that's what I'm so glad to see that Columbia Winair has been so devout in doing, is building relationships with local contractors, offering your services to them, and we'll get into more of what Columbia Winair has to offer as far as services a little bit later on. But that's a great answer. So, folks, we're going to take a quick moment here. We're just going to give a shout out to our sponsors out there, let them know how much we appreciate them, and we'll be right back with Kyle Wyatt in the studio. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. When you need printing done right and done locally, choose Pine Press of Lexington, South Carolina. From business cards and brochures to signs, banners, and custom printing projects, Pine Press delivers quality craftsmanship with personal service you can trust. Whether you're a small business, church, school, or organization, they help bring your ideas to life on time and on your budget. Conveniently located at 142 Ellis Avenue in Lexington, South Carolina, Pine Press is your hometown printing partner with decades of experience and attention to detail. Call 803-359-9162 or visit them at pinepressprinting.com or stop in today. That's Pine Press of Lexington, where your message makes a lasting impression. When the job has to be done right and time is critical, HVAC professionals across the Southeast trust McCall's Supply Company, servicing North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. McCall's Supply Company is your go-to source for heating and air conditioning, ventilation, indoor air quality products, and refrigeration supplies from the brands you know and trust. From equipment and replacement parts to controls, tools, and accessories, McCall Supply keeps contractors moving with great inventory, fast service, and knowledgeable counter teams who understand your business. With multiple locations, dependable availability, and the commitment to your help and your success, McCall Supply Company delivers more than parts. They deliver confidence you can trust on every job. McCall Supply Company, servicing the HVAC for decades across the Carolinas and Georgia, so you can get in, get out, and get back to work. All right, folks, we're back right after a short break. So we want to just say thanks to our sponsors one more time. This would not be possible without you, and thank you for making it happen for us. So in the studio today, we got Mr. Kyle Wyatt, Columbia Winair, in case you haven't been tuned in. But we got a few more questions here for you, Kyle, and then we promise we're going to let you out of the hot seat. I know it feels like you're probably on over there. What was the old game site, the dating game or
oh
something?
yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, no,
In the hot
this has
seat.
been a pleasure, man.
All right, so let's ask this. Let's get into some relationships with contractors. I've got a few questions I want to ask here. What do your best contractor partners do differently from everyone else?
Well, I kind of touched on it just a little bit earlier. I think the best ones are businessmen.
Yep,
Yeah, often in our industry, in the trades, um, the one who turns the wrench is oftentimes the one that does the books,
sure,
if
sure,
that makes sense.
absolutely.
And
Entrepreneurs,
yeah, and I think that some of these guys have realized that they've spent years perfecting their trade, but they haven't spent much any time at all learning how to run a business.
right?
You know what I mean?
And some of
And
them have really difficult selling. So I mean, I get
yeah,
so many times. I can't tell you. I would say more than 50% of contractors I talk to, they're saying, "Hey, I'm a wrench turner." As far as my sales, though,
yep,
I go out on the calls, but, sometimes they struggle getting the ball across the goal line to close the deal with the homeowner,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's just because they're uncomfortable. They're great as wrench turners. They're
absolutely.
great technicians. They know all about the system. They know everything out there, but sometimes putting them in a sales role is a little uncomfortable. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely, and it's because they haven't had the training. I mean, they
Right.
and they a lot of times, especially in years past, they haven't known they've needed the training.
Sure.
And now I think more than ever, a lot of them, and we're getting some turnover now. So some of the older guys are kind of are retiring and are phasing out, and in some instances, it's their sons that are coming up, and in some instances, it's just young guys opening businesses on their own, but these guys know, the importance
Right.
of sharpening that pencil and really learning how to run a business because, I mean, you gotta have both
Right.
halves in
Right.
order to be successful. And, that's why Columbia Winair, that's a priority for us in
Sure.
helping these guys get that training. I mean, we don't want to just be a store where you come buy something.
Right.
We want to help you grow your business.
Build those
And right,
relationships
and
that
then
are
one of the
very
ways that
important.
we've, determined the best way to do that is not only provide, have what you need when you need it,
Sure.
but also provide some of that next level business training. And
Did
and
you read
that's
my notes? I tell you,
yeah.
you're getting right on what my next question was, because my next question, Kyle, was how does your team support contractors beyond just stocking equipment?
I mean, that's what a great segue, right?
Right.
I mean, that's really what we've determined the best way to help our business partners um grow to provide that sales training, teach them how to read a P&L. I mean,
Right.
it sounds simple, right?
Right.
But a lot of these guys, they don't know, or they
Sure.
don't know enough. And you can't make business decisions. You can't move forward. You can't make plans and budgets and plan for your business to grow if you don't know if you don't know what you're looking at on that P&L. And that includes, hey, where's my money going? Where does my money need to go? What are the metrics that I need to be paying attention to make sure that that needle is moving at all times.
Exactly.
And those are the types of things that we think, not only Columbia Winair, but Win Supply in general. If you asked any Win local company president, he'd probably tell you the same darn thing.
Good focus points
Yep,
there.
and
Yeah.
and so that's really what we've tried to shift the focus to. So we want to, not only provide training on product and product knowledge, and not only, have a fully stocked warehouse and the right price and everything that wholesalers are supposed to do, but we want to take it to that next level and say, hey, Mr. Entrepreneur, let me help you here,
Right.
because I'm going through it too.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
yeah.
It's the relationship process of getting to know the contractor. They start to know your strengths by what you offer as a distributor, and then you start to realize by negotiating with them and talking with them and having regular conversations what their weaknesses are,
Right.
so that you can help one another fill the void in each other's
And you
relationship.
know what that does?
It
It
builds
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 trust.
sel it builds trust,
Yep.
and it builds businesses together.
Yep.
That's what
Because if
distributors is all
they're
about.
successful, guess what?
You're successful. 100%.
Right?
100% on the line.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. What skills or certifications do you feel like are becoming more important for technicians, to achieve in the next 5 years?
Yeah, again, we lightly touched on it before. Learning how to sell
Yeah.
a homeowner or a potential resident. Um, I think that's huge. Again, we touched on it a little bit before, as I said, but something as simple as offering a good, better, best option. Yeah, that was unheard of.
Right,
T
right.
10 years ago. Nobody
Absolutely.
was doing that except the old
Big
companies.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And now, these guys are now. I will say that technology has helped tremendously with that.
Sure.
There are apps and programs out there that these guys use, that puts together a quote in a heartbeat.
Right.
They're no longer writing on a legal pad the options for the homeowner. Most of them
Exactly.
aren't, right.
Exactly.
They're at least using an iPad, and by learning how to embracing that technology and learning how to utilize and harnessing that technology, these guys have become more savvy. And so even as something as simple as that has just been a huge deal
That's awesome.
with some of these business owners. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Want to ask you this, and I ask a lot of people when they come on the show this question, but I want to get your perspective from a distributor. Where do you see the most growth right now? Do you see it in commercial, residential, retrofit, or new construction?
That is a wonderful question. I will say that Columbia Winair is about 80% residential.
Sure.
We touch into the light commercial market. We sell units up to 12 and a half tons, units that you would see maybe on top of gas stations and businesses such as that. So we don't really get into the heavy commercial or chiller or any of that. So I can't really speak to that
Right.
market with any authority,
That's fair.
but I will say in between the other market segments that you mentioned, the new construction, the service, and the like, I would say new construction is probably
It's an area where you
yeah,
guys kind of can excel on in
yeah,
growth going forward. I think
yep,
as you and I've talked before, it's somewhere where you have the product available to support a
yep,
new construction guy.
yep,
So hopefully that's something, that can channel your way as more new construction business and the right contractors, because you certainly got the right products on the shelf to be able to support those guys. So I just want to
absolutely.
put that out there.
Yep.
Let's talk about leadership here. What leadership principles guide the way you run your distribution network? I know you're a hands-on guy, so you can jump right in there and say, "Hey, I won't ask anybody to do anything if I don't do it myself." But
No, it's yeah,
guys, I've seen Kyle sweating. I've seen him loading trucks.
yeah.
I've seen him doing it all. So I'm not putting him in an uncomfortable position. But if you want somebody that's willing to work for you on your behalf and help you grow your business and doesn't mind the dirty work, that guy's the guy.
I mean, to me, it's not rocket science, right? I mean, you lead by example, right? I mean, that's the saying, or some people would call it a cliche or what have you. But to me, nothing's true. I don't ask my guys to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself.
Hmm.
And the other thing that I think is maybe a little unique, with the way Win goes to market, Columbia Winair, is we are very transparent with where we want to go, uh, how we're going to get there. I share. As a business owner, I have to come up with a yearly plan, right? Every year we have to do market analysis, and we have to say, hey, here's where we've been, here's where we want to go, right? So we
Right.
put this business plan together, and it's pretty involved
Right.
because we have stockholders that we have to make happy, right? Um, I share that plan in all of its glory
Sure.
with every single one of my employees, right?
Sure.
They
Absolutely.
all know what the goals are, and they are all empowered to make decisions day to day to help us get to those goals. Now, that might not seem like a big deal, but I gotta tell you, from a customer standpoint and a customer service standpoint, to be able to have anybody in that building be able to solve your problem without getting a whole chain of others involved
Right.
is a huge thing, and they all know, all my guys know that, hey, my actions every day determine the path of this company, and I know that the path needs to go here,
Sure.
and so they know that the decisions they make day to day not only affect the customers, but obviously they affect the business. And but they when they know they make the right
They make the right
decisions, man.
decisions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, folks, that winds us down on segment 2. We're going to be right back with segment 3. You don't want to move because we're going to be right back with some recap, and we're going to have our prize drawing that we do every week on the show. We got some hats in. I hope you like the new hats here that we got from Core Scope. If you do, give us a like. If you want to buy merchandise, if you're not a winner, of course, we're going to give you the opportunity to win one when we spin the wheel. But if you're not a winner and you want to buy a Core Scope hat, just know that we send a lot of the proceeds to our Wounded Warrior program. We want to give back to veterans. So any merchandise you buy from CoreScope, you let us know you want to buy a hat. We don't have our website up yet to sell product, but we'll have that up soon. We've also got the coffee cups. But just know that when you buy merchandise on our website, some of your money will go to help support our Wounded Warriors. So with that said, we'll be right back. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We can't thank you enough. We'll be right back. You can't always see what's in the air, but you can breathe easier with Air Plus. Air Plus specializes in bipolar ionization, an advanced indoor air solution that helps reduce airborne pollutants like dust, allergens, odors, and germs throughout your home or business. Instead of just filtering the air, bipolar ionization actively treats the air you breathe, making it cleaner, fresher, and healthier. The result? Fewer odors, improved comfort, and better air quality in every room, not just where your system sits. If you care about your family's health, your employees, or the comfort of your space, it's time to focus on what matters most, the air inside. Air Plus, cleaner air, healthier living, powered by bipolar ionization. When your home or business needs reliable heating or cooling, trust the experts at Hatfield Heating and Air Conditioning of Sumter, South Carolina. From repairs and maintenance to new home system installation, Hatfield Heating and Air keeps your space comfortable year-round. Their experienced team is friendly, professional, and ready to get the job done right the very first time. Don't wait until it's too hot or too cold. Call 803-494-2631 today and schedule your service with the team that Sumter homeowners trust first and foremost. Hatfield Heating and Air Conditioning, keeping you comfortable one home at a time. All right, welcome back, folks. Just a quick break, but thank you for staying around with us. Got a question here for you, Kyle. I hope you don't mind this one, but what is the biggest takeaway you want contractors and listeners today to walk away with about Columbia Winair?
Oh, there's so many. Oh my goodness.
Told you we would give you a platform where you could pour your heart out.
Yeah, I would, and they may know this or they may not know this, but I have, in order to be obviously an owner, I have to put some of my own funds
Sure.
into that company. Every local company president does. And that being said, when you have skin in the game, it changes. It changes the deal. I mean, you're
Changes
not working
everything.
for somebody; you're working for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so I would want somebody to take away, I guess, the fact that hey, this guy has his life,
Sure.
kind of wrapped up into this
Sure.
business, and that makes you. I mean, you should be passionate to start with, but
Absolutely.
but but if you have, if you have something on the line, I mean, you're gonna work that much harder,
Absolutely.
and all wholesalers say they have the best service, and all wholesalers say that they do this and they do that, and they do. I'm not downplaying any of that. I know they work hard, but you're gonna get a little something extra at
Sure.
at Columbia Winair, because it's not only Columbia Winair, it's Kyle Wyatt,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's
At the end of the
Rusty on
day,
the
it's
counter,
exactly.
it's Jacob driving, it's Deshaun, it's Scott, it's all of us working together, all hands pulling on that same rope. We all have the same vision. We kind of touched on it earlier.
Michael Ball out there. If you guys don't know Michael Ball, he's your outside sales guy.
Super
Great
guy.
guy,
Yeah, I didn't
super
think you.
guy. Love
I'm sorry, Mike.
Michael Ball is a great
Yeah,
guy. I know he
yeah.
he puts in so much effort, such a joy to talk to, and he really represents you well with a passion. I mean, he really
Not
is
about
really
it.
a
Yeah.
superstar. I just had to throw that plug in there. Michael, you can pay me later for that. I just had to get that out of the air. Not that Kyle forgot you, buddy,
Oh
but
boy.
Kyle didn't. I threw
I
you
was
in there. I'm
I
just
was coming back around. I was coming back around. But But
How can contractors or potential partners connect with you after the show, Kyle?
oh
Get
my gosh, yeah, a whole bunch of ways, right?
Yep,
ColumbiaWinair.com is probably the best way. You can go on there and you can type a message to us, and I'll get that as an email.
sure.
You can email me directly at kwyatt@winair.com, or you can call the shop, and any one of us will be glad to help.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And last but not least, folks, we're about to wrap up here and get to the prize drawing, but just a couple of more questions. Kyle, you want to, this really in a question, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell people the areas that you cover from Columbia and how often, you guys have trucks, correct? You guys
Oh,
have delivery trucks. So if a customer calls you up and they need a unit on a job and, you guys you can make that happen, can you not?
we can make it happen, yeah.
There you
Matter of
go.
fact, that's our tagline on things that we send out and, like, my email and such, making it happen, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what we like to do. So, I would say as a general radius around Columbia, we probably have a 40-mile, 45-mile radius, which is probably a little bit larger than maybe another wholesaler would be. But we believe in getting product to Orangeburg. We believe in getting product to Prosperity, to Chapin, to Newberry, to all
Sure.
those surrounding areas, and
'Cause
we
not every job is down the street.
it is not. Yeah, I would love for it to be, but yeah, we find a way to make it happen no matter what.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. With that being said, folks, we're going to wrap it up. It's such a pleasure having Kyle in the studio with us. We hope he'll come back and be with us again in the future. But folks, we wanted to give you an oversight of who Columbia Winair is, the great people and the great staff there, and of course managed by a great business owner, Kyle Wyatt himself. And so we're going to get to that segment in the show where you guys all look for. In case you're wondering, I had someone email me and said, "Hey, what does that say around the microphone on your new coffee cups?" It says, "This is at the core of industry, expanding the scope." Okay, that's who Core Scope is. All that's who we are. We're at the core of industry, expanding the scope, talking about topics that you want to hear about and talk about, and putting product knowledge out there as well as knowledge about the local distributors we have here in South Carolina. But talking about what distributors in a general offer to contractors out there. So, guys, if you're not doing business with Columbia Winair, give Kyle a call. They're always super supportive and willing to help you grow your business and your brand. So that's what we're about here at Core Scope. Is our aim is to grow your brand. So Kyle, thank you for being with us tonight. Before we leave, we're going to spin the lucky prize wheel over here. As you can see, we've got all kinds of prizes on here from hats, gift cards, Home Depot gift cards. We've got some gift cards on here for AMC Theaters. We've got Outback Steakhouse. We've got Bonefish Grill. We've also got Visa gift cards, $50 and 100 gift cards as always. And be prepared. We're going to be doing some special things, and we're going to change it up on you from time to time. But we're always going to have great prizes. One prize for sure that's on the prize wheel is our 4-night, 5-day cruise out of Tampa, Florida. Looking forward to somebody winning that one. So please. So Kyle, I'm gonna move this over there to you at the table, and so cameraman, when I get up, you can just shoot this over there at the table with Kyle, and we'll put the wheel in front of him, and then we'll let him pull out a lucky winner. All righty, I have gotten resituated back over here. I'm at the table with Kyle White. The only thing missing is something to eat, but hey, something better. We've got a prize wheel here. So, folks, I'm gonna let Kyle take it over here. Kyle, give this prize wheel a spin, and let's see what a lucky winner can win tonight.
All right, yeah, that's exciting. Let's give it a whirl here and see what happens. $50 Visa.
$50 Visa gift card to the winner tonight. Hey, that means you can spend it anywhere you like to go. So we're going to give out a $50 Visa card, and now we're going to replace the prize wheel with the golden spin bucket over here. We'll just call it the golden bucket. So Kyle, we're going to let you do this as well. And let's Let's see who the lucky winner for the $50 Visa card is tonight.
All right, so just give this a spin here. All right.
Backwards and forwards, you might
That.
want to.
All right, I'm going to go one more time this way, and then we're going to stop it.
Now, you're asking, how did these names get in the bucket? If you want an opportunity to win a prize, we give away prizes on every show, 52 weeks out of the year. We're doing a drawing just like this one. And we'll always have great prizes, $50 or more of value on the prize wheel. All you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, click on Core Scope Insights, put it in your little search window where you see the magnifying glass, go to Core Scope Insights, give us a thumbs up. That's a bonus. But all we're asking you to do is subscribe to our channel, and then send us an email at insights@corescopeus.com, and we will put you in the prize wheel and make sure that you are a contestant to win every time we spin the wheel. So Kyle, reach in there, grab us out a winner. All righty. Let's read it out. Drum roll, please.
We got to do that. Yeah. All right. Henson Lee with Air Distribution Technology is the winner of that $50 Visa card.
Henson Lee, hey, thank you for your subscription to Core Scope Insights. Hey, we'll be getting that $50 gift card out to you here soon. So thank you so much. Hey, we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season, folks. It's right around the corner. We just want to thank you for your time being with us today. Kyle, you want anything else you want to say to the audience out there?
Well, I mean, yeah, thank you for watching and subscribing and all that good stuff. Wes, I think it's a great thing that you're doing here, trying to increase the awareness of things in our industry and having folks like me on here where we can talk about what we do and hopefully make it fun for folks to hear about things that are going on in the industries. So,
It's a
yeah,
pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I hope you'll come back on again.
you bet. Yeah.
Thank you so much, folks. That's all tonight from Core Scopes Insight Studios. This is Wesley Bray, your host. Kyle Wyatt's been our guest tonight, and we can't thank you enough for tuning in as our guest watching us. And we'll see you again real soon. Y'all have a great night.